guys, so we're going to replace these brake lines on the 2000 Dodge Ram. These are Crown brake lines, Crown Performance I believe they call them. They are, let's see, just Crown. And to do that, we are going to empty the brake reservoir first, and to do that, you're going to want to get a turkey baster or some kind of tool to remove the brake fluid out, and then I'm just going to put it in this container here for the time being. I will not be reusing it. I'll be putting new stuff in. Okay, once that's done, then you're going to want to go ahead and come down here and break your line loose at the caliper on each side. Let it drain out of the line. And that should get most of that out. Once that's done, then you will break it apart at the hard line in the rubber hose. As you can tell, it's draining down into the drain pan. Okay, once you got that unbolted, you're going to want to come over here and unbolt the bracket from the frame. Make sure you hit all these bolts and lines a couple days before with some PB Blaster. It'll really help you out getting these off. Once you get these two lines unscrewed, you'll need to get this rubber line loose, you'll need to pop this clip out. So you just want to get in there and just pry it over or whatever you got to do to get this thing popped out. It'll slide over that way. You'll use this edge, you'll slide it over, and then this whole line will drop out. So I got that little clip out. It's right there. It's rusted in there pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unbolt it right here and pull it out. And they did give me this little bracket. It was like a replacement to go there. But I'm going to try and reuse my original just because I know it's in the exact spot those lines need to go and everything. But as right now it's rusted in, so I'm just going to unbolt that, get that off, and then work on getting this off the bracket. Alright, so I was going to originally pull that bolt out, but there's another one back here, and there's a couple more lines up under there tied in. I do have to undo this one, but I didn't want to undo that one, so I was just like, screw that. So what I'm doing is I hit it with some PB Blaster on the top. Well, I hit it with some heat first, hit it with some PB Blaster, and then I took this wrench and I just put it on here, and I broke it loose, so now it's all nice and free. Alright, so a couple things you're going to want here that's going to help you. It's brake cleaner, brake fluid, and anti-seize. I try and anti-seize all my bolts whenever I take something apart, unless it's something I don't want coming back apart. But this bolt's going to get it. I'm not going to put it on the brake bolt, that'd be dumb, but I probably will put just a dab on the brake lines threads. Not getting it into it, just on the threads, so that way in the future it'll come apart a lot easier. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with putting that mounting bracket on, that way it'll hold the line, and then I'll run over here, I'll hook it up with the two new crush washers on each side of that bolt, and then I'll go up to the top and attach it there. Hose is bolted on at the frame. The nice thing about these aftermarket Crown brake lines is you can actually push on these and get some adjustment out of them. So if you want a little more over on this side, a little more loop, or you need a little more on that side, it's kind of cool. So now that that's on there, I'll go ahead and I'll get this worked over here. Two new crush washers on each side, and put that bolt through and tighten it down. Alright, there it is. It is on. It's cross, comes under, comes up, and attaches at the frame where it should with the new clips and all. A couple things I want to touch base on. You want to make sure, obviously, this thing loops in. This little block here, there's actually an edge right here you got to watch out for. If you're turned sideways, it'll get up on it and you'll mash the corner and it won't seal. Make sure you don't do that. This bracket is kind of soft, so you can bend it if you need to a little bit. I just went ahead and gave my line a nice little twist before I hooked it up here, so that way it would kind of flare. It's kind of hard to show you here, but flare over and then back up. That way it kicks it away from my control arms and right between the drive shaft. Yet far enough away from the drive shaft it will never ever hit. And I wanted enough here so I could turn properly, and it won't hit anything either. So the other side is exactly the same, so I won't be showing you that, but I'll probably try and show you some of the back. Well, I figured I'd better go ahead and show you guys this. As you can see, this setup's a little different from the driver's side. Like I said earlier, it's pretty much the same, except for you don't have the line running in right here on the side. And as you can tell, it's got like a built-in block instead of like the other one. It was more this style. So what I ended up having to do is I just unbolted the whole block, took it off, and then that's where these little L brackets come in. I just went and mounted that in its place, and then ran the line up through, put the little clip on there, and then just moved the original brake line over just slightly and then screwed it in, and it worked out perfect. Otherwise, exact same setup. Alright guys, on the back here I had the factory overload adjuster, I guess you would call it. I had a rod that comes down off this thing. It's got a little arm right here, and as you put weight in the bed, it actually pushes on it and adjusts the brakes to work more properly, almost like when you're towing a trailer with your brake controller. Anyways, I got rid of that last year, and so I put this temporary brake line in, and it's just mounted up here. My little bracket's not on there right now, but I'm gonna fix all that, and I'm actually gonna replace that line because as you can tell, it's pretty rotten. It makes me nervous, but in order to do that, I gotta move the tank, run it all the way down the frame, all the way to the front, so I'm not going to show you that. But what I will show you is how to do this, and this is straightforward. These two lines come unbolted, this comes off, you just unscrew that, and then that block will unbolt, and then you just unhook it like the normal one. And then, yeah, that's my new line there. Alright guys, not sure if you can see this, but got the bracket put back on. This is the new system I was talking about. I eliminated that overload system, and so now it used to go into this and have a line that came off that it mounted like, where did it mount? It mounted in these two holes, I believe. And then it had a line that came up and looped over and went in, and then it came out of that and then went down with the line down onto the axle. So I got rid of that, and I just go straight into the bracket now, and then down the frame. And then I just kind of gave it a little swoopy loop here, so that way when it compresses, it should stay away from my exhaust there, and hopefully everything else. But that's it. There's that crown brake line. And last thing I'll do is I'll top off my reservoir, or I'll fill it up with new brake fluid. I'll then go ahead and bleed the brakes on it, getting any of the leftover old stuff out of the system. I'll bleed it until all that's out, and by the time I'm done with that, most of the air should be out of the system. But you want to make sure you fill this thing up first. That way you don't get any air in your system. That's it, guys. New front brake lines are on both sides. As you can see, nice little setup on these. And then, like I said, the back one, I took the spare tire out to give me more room to do this. It definitely helped. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed.